So, today we're filming in the Supra. I've had the car for about a year, and today we're going to be talking about just the things I've noticed about owning an A90 Supra. Let's dive into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Car Rant. My name is John. If you guys are new to the channel, we do builds, we do reviews, and we have candid conversations about cars. So if any of that interests you guys at all, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and yeah, also share the video, because the more people that see it, better it is for us, and we gotta beat this algorithm, because frick the algorithm. Here we go. I've owned the Supra for actually just over a year. I bought the car in April of last year. I had my FK8 Civic Type R before it, and I traded that car in for this one that I'm currently sitting in. The first thing I'm gonna dive into is going to be ownership of a A90 Mark V Supra. I would say it like this: I could never daily drive this car. I know guys who do daily drive these cars, and I got mad respect for them because I could not do it. When I first bought the car, I didn't mind the lack of space. However, a year later, that is actually one of the biggest gripes that I have with the Mark V Supra. These cars are small. I don't hate the car. I don't hate the interior of this car at all. The interior is gorgeous, but in terms of space, there is no space. Again, I like the concept of feeling like you're in a fighter jet about to shoot down all the enemies out there. I hate the visibility in this car so much. If I didn't have a daily driver, I would probably be driving something else. I can see my blind spots just fine from my mirrors because the rear end is so short. But these pillars have almost gotten me into multiple accidents because I think I'm good at intersections and stuff. And then the minute I start to pull out, I see, oh shoot, there's a car right where this pillar is, and I couldn't see it. So just for that, just be aware if you're looking at buying one of these cars and if you're looking to drive one of these cars, be aware it's gonna feel tight in here and your visibility is not gonna be the greatest. In all honesty, I've driven multiple supercars and stuff before, and I'll say this: cars like the Audi R8, in my opinion, actually have way better visibility than this car does. The infotainment system kind of works when it wants to. If it wants to work, it works just fine. Other times it doesn't. The biggest gripe I have with it is Apple CarPlay doesn't just show right up when you turn the car on, and then also it'll glitch out at times and stuff like that. I think that's more of a Bluetooth issue. The cup holders are in probably the worst position I've ever seen, and I get it. It's a sports car, it's a two-seater. Space is not a thing, and practicality is not a thing in this car. But in order for me to grab a drink that is in said cup holder, I have to do one of these things. I have to look like a weirdo or something, like some T-Rex looking thing over here. And I gotta like claw over and grab my drink. That to me is so stupid, and you look ridiculous doing it, okay? So I usually just try to like reach over. I've rested my arm on here so many times, and I've missed it so many times. I was driving like a couple weeks ago, and I put my arm straight into the cup holder because I was at a light, the light was long. I went to like kind of like lean my head down, and when I went to lean my head down, my whole head just went like this because my freaking elbow went into my cup holder. Porsche, there's like pop out on the passenger side. It's fantastic. I love that idea. I've put cups in those cup holders and they work. And then the last thing I'd say, trunk space sucks. I play bass at my church, and I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've had to chuck my bass in the passenger seat of my car, and that has been my passenger princess for the longest time, has been my bass guitar, because that thing will just sit there. And you know, actually props to the legroom in these cars, because my bass is long. Basses are not short things, and that fits in there. So good on that. But trunk space sucks. You can fit certain things in there. I had Panda in the trunk space for a little bit. I've had a lawn chair at the same time, and I can transport like weekend stuff. Like I can pack clothes for a weekend in a duffel bag and stuff, but don't expect me to be like moving in this car. You know what I'm saying? I'll touch on the exterior real quick. I don't have any issues with the exterior. Fix the fake vents. The fake vents suck. That's the only thing I have really with the exterior. I think they did the styling very well. Engine is great. These things can hold a ton of power if you do it right. Last year, when I first bought this car, talking about the 5 things I like and the 5 things I don't like about this car, and I said that the transmission was one of the 5 things that I liked. The transmission in this car is a monster. It is amazing. When you're in sport mode, manual shifting, or the auto shifting, it runs fantastic. But the minute you throw this thing into comfort mode, it forgets that it's a BMW, and it's like, right, I'm a Toyota. Oh, we got to shift like a Prius now. We got to drive car like Prius. Oh, no. I don't even know. Oh, that's not even Asian. The transmission in comfort mode is awful. It is one of the most sluggish things I've ever driven. And I had said in that video, the 5 things I like and don't like, that this transmission might be the second best transmission I've driven, right behind the PDK. If I said that was the second best transmission, I would still hold by that in terms of sport mode. But that second to that ZF transmission to first place PDK it's a very large gap. In terms of other things, the ride feels fine whether you're in comfort or sport. That's fine. Gas mileage in this car is actually really good, provided you're not sending it 24/7 like I usually do. I've taken 2 trips to Virginia in this car, and both trips I could have made on a single tank of gas. I like to not to, I always fill up halfway. The fact that I can make the trip on a full tank of gas in comfort mode. Now, when you're driving it in sport mode, the gas mileage is, well, how do I put this? This thing guzzles gas when it's in sport mode. And I will drive this thing in sport mode nonstop. I usually have to fill this thing up maybe once every like half week if I'm driving it every day. But yeah, that's pretty much my year in the car. Now, other things I will note, seats are leather, you have soft touch surfaces, heated seats. I love heated seats. Steering wheel's kind of a gripe for me. I don't like the steering wheel in this car at all. It's really skinny. I have small hands, and you would think, oh, a smaller wheel for a guy with smaller hands is good. No, I need to hold something, and even this is too skinny for my skinny hands, small hands. Paddles are fine. I don't have issue with paddles. I actually really like the way that they do, like going between songs and stuff, your volume and everything, it's all accessible through the wheel. I mean, other than that, I'm really not getting much. Ventilation's fine, AC works. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to really talk about in terms of good things in my living with this car. So with that being said, let's go over to, well, the culture side of it. This is my experience with Columbus, Ohio Supras and DMV Supras. I'm not saying everyone acts like this with Supras. So you are truly part of a family when you buy a Supra, and here's why. It's usually because everyone gets the same amount of criticism and the same jokes are said and the same insults are said about it's a BMW, how do you like your Z4, you know, oh, you're driving, like I've gotten told where it's like I'm driving just a younger old person's car, which I don't even understand what that meant, but that was kind of funny.
He's out of line, but he's right.
The culture around the Supras is something of like, we are all together, not just because we own the same car, but also we get all insulted the exact same way. Ohio Supras, everyone gets along. You have a Supra, you're immediately liked by the Supra guys. And then on top of that, you're in tight with the BMW guys. Almost every dude I know at car meets and stuff, I know because I've met a Supra guy, or I've met because of a BMW guy. So most of my connections are through Supras and BMWs, because BMWs are like, no, you're like our half brother. Like, come over here. You're still family. Like, I might drive an M3, but you have a Supra, so we're still related. So yeah, let's go, let's do this. I love the culture around the Supra. I think it's great. It's a group that isn't toxic. Not all, because I've met dudes who are very immature with their cars. I'm not gonna name names here. In terms of the Supras, for the most part, it's a group that respects not just themselves, but everybody else. It's a group that, for the most part, is actually a mature group of drivers. Just roll together, they're chill. If they do stupid stuff, it's a small, it's that handful of them. They don't throw everyone else into it. They just kind of go off and do it on their own. And so yeah, I'd say that's the Supra culture is very much like that. What have I done with the Supra and what's next? And I'd say I'd close with this. I have carbon fiber rear canards that I bought from Armaspeed. I paid way too much for those. I'd say if you're gonna buy them either used or something like that, because the Armaspeed carbon fiber rear canards are, I kid you not, I paid $400 some for those, and that was kind of a mistake. Now, the next thing I got was carbon fiber mirror caps for the car. Has a little bit of an inspired M design on it. Those I bought off of a Chinese company that I cannot remember the name of. I don't even know if it's real carbon. I doubt it is. I paid like $250 for those, and I have them PPF wrapped as well. Then after that, I got my ducktail spoiler, which I got off of a super buddy of mine out here in Ohio for like 50 bucks. I don't know who it's from. I don't know who makes it or anything like that, so don't ask me. I bought an Army Tricks catless, it's fully catless downpipe, which increased the sound. The pops were great. I loved it. Unfortunately, the car drove a little sluggish because the air fuel ratio was off. And so, what do you have to do from there? You buy a tune, which I have a locked ECU, and when I bought the car, I didn't see it being worth. I could not see myself spending 2,500 bucks just to get the ECU sent to some country overseas for them to unlock and everything. I get it, everyone does it. I just can't justify spending that kind of money to do that. So my plan all along was to get some sort of piggyback tune. So I bought a JB4, got that installed. It solved the sluggishness of the car and all that stuff, and I still have it on the car. I'm making more power. I don't know the exact number. I haven't dynoed it. Don't ask me. I don't know torque numbers or anything like that either. I think I'm estimated numbers. I'm making like 50 more horsepower, and I'm making maybe like another 50 to 80 pound-feet of torque. Don't quote me on that though. It's estimated. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you can tell a difference for sure. And so that's pretty much everything I've done on the Supra to this day. And so now the question is, what's next? Well, nothing. What? As of this past Monday, I have made the decision to actually sell the Supra. This is not included. I'm keeping this. This will go into whatever car I buy next, because I'm going to buy another white car, because I buy white cars for some reason. Anyways, for me, it's also making a mature decision based upon life things that are happening right now for me to sell this car and get something different. I know a lot of you might be asking, is it because you don't like the car? Because you've had a ton of gripes with the car? And I'll say it like this. Am I going to buy something with more room? Yes, I will be buying something that has more room, that doesn't feel as claustrophobic, has way better visibility. I'm going to buy a car that has the things that I don't like about the Supra. I will say that. Or it has the things that I want that I didn't like about the Supra. Now, that's not the reason why I'm selling the car. Would I recommend this car to somebody? Absolutely. Now, yes, do your research, and please buy a car. If you plan on putting big power into it and all this stuff, buy a car with a June of 2020 ECU or prior. Do not buy a post June of 2020 Toyota Supra, because it will have a locked ECU and you will have so much pain trying to get the thing unlocked and all that stuff. Just buy a car that already has an unlocked ECU. That's my biggest piece of advice to everybody, is buy a car that has an unlocked ECU. But if you don't plan on doing much to the car, what if you're just doing wheels and suspension and you want to keep it relatively stock? Go ahead, buy a car that's post June of 2020. If you don't plan on messing with the ECU or anything like that, and you want to keep your warranty and all that stuff, I know tons of guys who have done that as well, and they're living their best life in that car. Every performance thing I've talked about in this video, I have liked, besides the transmission and comfort mode. That's it. I recommend the Toyota Supra. I recommend the Mark V, and in my opinion, it's the best Supra. The Germans do performance better, and the fact that you have one of the kings of Japanese, you have one of the kings in Japanese automotive creations, and you have one of the kings of German automotive creation just came together, had a baby, and they came out with the Mark V Supra. Get over the fact that it is not a true Toyota and love the car for what it is. That's what I'll say about it, okay? So, with that being said, what do you guys think? Is the Toyota Supra worth buying? If you own a Supra, let me know. If you own a Supra, do you have any gripes about your Supra? Let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll agree on something. So what car do you think I'm gonna buy? What car do you want to see me buy? Let me know in the comments, and yeah, maybe one of your guesses is gonna be on that list. So with that being said, I love y'all. Peace. This is Panda. This is supposed to be my mascot for the car. I'm going for like a panda theme because you know the car's white, black and white. Pandas are black and white. I liked it. Panda Supra. Check me out. Panda _Mk V _. You can see a little guy up here. Now,